The proof is in the pudding, and the pudding in this case is a football. Booth, eat my goal! The goalie has got football pie all over his shirt.
Joe, welcome. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your connection to Chippenham, please, mate?
Yeah, of course, Wayne. My name's Joe Sharples, and I'm Academy Manager for the football club, overseeing the under-17s to under-23 full-time programme.
Great. Yeah, and got a good bunch of lads at the moment. Is there many lads there?
Yes, we have. Yeah, we've got about 50 in the programme from sort of 17 up to 2021. Half of them sort of in our stronger squads that have been sort of involved with the first team on a regular basis, and then the other half sort of the younger groups that are obviously working their way towards that goal.
Yeah, it's a big responsibility then, Joe, isn't it? I mean, you're having a good season as well, aren't you? You had a bit of a cup run.
Yeah, we had our best ever run in the FA Youth Cup, and because we did so bad the year before, we had to start in the pre-qualifiers. So we managed to win 6 on a bounce to get to the second round, which was a great run for the boys involved. And it's good. Obviously, we look after their education as well, which is really important. So yeah, overseeing both aspects of their development.
Great achievement. You're doing a great job, Joe. Well done, mate. Thank you. So, moment of truth. Here's my ball bag. Here we go.
Right.
5 random questions. Are you ready? It could be anything on football, faith, or just fun stuff. Is that right?
No worries.
So here we go. First one is number 6. This is an important one, Joe. We need to know from you. Would you rather time travel 20 years in the future or past every time you fart, or teleport somewhere each time you sneeze? Teleport somewhere on Earth every time you sneeze.
I think I'd time travel.
Yeah, it could be back or forward, mate. You know that, don't you?
Yeah. I think I'd time travel. Yeah, into the future.
Would you? Well, I just think you've got no say on it. So every time you pop one out, you could go 20 years back, 20 years.
Okay. All right.
So
I'm comfortable with that. I'm happy with that. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Time travel.
Time travel. Yeah, I think I'd do the same. What a mate. Right, it's just to ease you in that one, Joe.
Yeah, okay.
Deep and philosophical for you. Next one, number 24, 2 and 4, 24 is a football question. Who would you say, Joe, is the greatest player of all time, in your opinion? Can play for Wolves if they want to, but they probably won't.
Greatest player of all time, I would say Iniesta.
Okay, yeah.
Just
retired,
Iniesta.
Isn't he? Is he just retired?
Yeah, I think a few years ago. But yeah, I mean, there's so many to choose from. I think he's just the type of player that I like. Obviously, he's won everything there is to win.
Yeah.
And I sort of not grew up, but spent in my 20s sort of watching him. So
yeah,
there's loads, isn't there? But for me, I'll go Iniesta if I can't have a Wolves player.
Well, maybe one day he'll sign for Wolves in his later years. Mind you, he seems to have a really nice temperament, actually, isn't he, Iniesta? Nice personality, nice kind of character about him.
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
So if you could choose a Wolves player very quickly, who would it be?
Steve Bull.
Yeah, Steve Bull.
Yeah. Stevie
Bull. How many England caps? 1 or 2?
13.
What, England caps?
Yeah, 13.
Did he?
Yeah, Italia 90. Scored against Scotland. Yeah, look, 5-minute, 10-minute run-outs, but
all
cap's a cap. So, Steve Bull. And then, there's a few at the moment, probably the best ever team we've had.
I remember when Emlyn Hughes played for Wolves, just before your time, mate. Unless you have time travel, you'll never know who he is. Right, third question, here we go. Number 17, which is, let's have a look. Okay, it's a faith one, Joe, for you, kind of loosely related. Has anything ever happened to you that you can't explain? That you thought, blimey, that's weird. Good or bad? You thought maybe this thing beyond.
I don't know. Sometimes I may have a dream, and then you see a certain image, and maybe 6 months down the line, you see that sort of picture in real life, and you think, I've seen that somewhere before. I've had that a couple of times.
Okay.
But other than that, no, fairly boring on the sort of deja vu and any random things that might happen.
You often hear these stories where someone breaks down in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night or something, and suddenly someone turns up suddenly. I don't know. But it sounds like you had a bad case of cheese or something there, Joe, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe. Right, here we go. Question number 4 is number 1, which is another football question. If Chippenham Town, I know you're more of an academy guy, but if Chippenham Town seniors ever reach the 3rd round of the FA Cup, who would you love to see at home?
Wolves. Yeah, I'd have to say Wolves just because they're my team. Yeah, and just to see the players. Obviously, I was involved with the squad that played Northampton last season in the first round, and yeah, it was a special day for everyone at the club. But it was good to sort of see them up close and in the tunnel. So yeah, I think Wolves. If I wasn't being biased, I'd probably say Man City. Right. As sort of with my neutral hat on, but yeah, Wolves first and then Man City.
I do feel very envious when you see the likes of Chorley and all them, these conference, well, not conference, there's National League North boys getting so far. Do you feel like a sense of envy? Think, oh man, I'd love that to happen to us. That'd be so good.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they've had a great run, haven't they? And yeah, to get to the, through to the first round is a big achievement, but to get to the 4th round, it will set that club up for a long time. So yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's out the realms of possibility for Chippenham to do that. You need a bit of luck and all the rest of it. So I'm sure our day will come soon.
So what would be a glamour tie then for the academy, for youth? Is there, because the big teams don't always have the best youth teams, do they? So is there like a team? Yeah,
I mean the Premier League youth system set up into categories. So if we'd beaten Woking in the 2nd round, we'd have been away to Brighton, who are Cat 1, which would have been, which would have been a really good tie and one the boys were looking forward to. Yeah. So it's a little bit different, but generally speaking, if you get a Liverpool or a Man City, you're facing some of the best kids in the country at that age group. So it tends to sort of, where the money is at first team level, the best academy lads are as well.
Yeah, because there was a time where hardly any teams had academies. Now it is obviously the way forward for a lot. They're clicking onto that now, aren't they? Realizing it's the way to go. Right, this is your last question, Joe.
Okay.
Number 28. You're doing so well, mate. I love it. It is. What is your worst habit?
You're probably asking the wrong person. Probably a few other people that could tell you. Yeah. My worst habit.
You bite your toenails?
Probably. Yeah. No, I'm not that flexible anymore, Wayne. I can. My worst habit. I probably get in youth games sometimes a bit too competitive still. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I've got others, but I'm not saying them on air. So I'll stick with that one and sort of say sometimes I can get a little bit too competitive in like cup runs and things. Obviously, my job's ultimately to develop players ready for the first team. But yeah, I'd say that competitiveness and controlling that is still something that I've got to work on. I was a nightmare 10 years ago. I'm getting a little bit better now. But yeah, still need to work on it. Bad habit.
Keep an eye on your heart rate, your blood pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great, Joe. Thank you very much. I guess the other habits you can't mention, maybe something to do with time travel when you're under the door. Who knows? Joe, thanks for your time, mate. I really appreciate it. All the very best. Are you training now? Are you playing still? I guess you're not at the moment.
We haven't got any games on the go. The players that are in around the first team are still training. But half the program shut down with lockdown, and they're doing their education online. So it's a little bit quieter, and we're hoping that March onwards we might be able to get a few more games in, just to keep the boys ticking over. But we'll just have to wait and see what the government says.
Thank you, Joe. You are doing a fantastic job with the academy. I love following you on Facebook and all this kind of stuff. You're doing really, really well. So well done to you and your.
Appreciate that.
And all the very best to you, Joe. And take care, mate.
Yeah, smashing. Thanks, Wayne.
Take care, bye.
All the best. Cheers.
Bye, bye.
And another! Bing, bang, stick it in. Thank you and good night.